Okay, so good morning. We are going to go look at Joshua. I probably have done this before, but we are going to do it again. And we're starting, I've only gotten like up to Joshua, I think 8 with me reading it. So we're going to start with Joshua 1. And I said that I think I've started with Joshua. And maybe I've recorded about Joshua previously. It's a book I've been trying to get through, so I'm going to try to get through it for real. Okay, so Joshua has, hold on, let me tell you how many chapters it has. It has 21. I've only gotten through, it said book 8. Okay, so right now they are on getting ready to go into Canaan, and God wants them to overthrow the cities of Canaan. They were promised milk and honey there, and okay, hold on a second. I'm looking for exactly what I was looking. So it says, the milk and honey. It's not that it was very fertile. Farm country are rich in minerals, but it was a good place for milk, for herding, which is where we get milk, and for fruit, which is the honey. Okay, so we learn about Rahab, which is the prostitute, who helps Joshua and the spies and everything. And we learn that if you respond in faith, your life will be spared. And in Joshua 21:43, it summarizes where God, or the whole entire purpose is that God kept his covenant promise to give the land to the Israelites. It recounts God's bringing the Israelites into the land, giving them victory over the inhabitants of the land, and then distributing the land among the clans for settlement. Okay, we learned that God is serious about punishing those who deserve judgment, whether it's the Canaanites or the Israelites. Okay, and the one thing that I looked up is in the Bible that I'm reading, it has, let me see if I can get it. It has a map, and that Post-it note that you see is my little note. So the Canaan, if we were to look at it, that is modern day Israel, the West Bank, Gaza, and then Jordan and portions of Syria and Lebanon. Those are the lands that are being, right now, but we're having all the fighting going on in the Middle East, is that land. Okay, so Joshua is installed as the leader. So this is Joshua 1. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, the Lord said to Joshua, the son of Nun, who was Moses' aide, "Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then you and all the people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give to them. To the Israelites, I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the great river, the Euphrates, and all the Hittite country to the Mediterranean Sea in the west. No one will be able to stand against you in all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them." Okay, so let's look at Joshua 1. It says, the servant of the Lord. So God has only called 4 people in the Bible the servant of the Lord: Moses, Joshua, David, and then Jesus. Okay. And the Lord said, which means he had direct communication with him. So let's keep going. Be strong and be very courageous. So you will hear this phrase several times. Okay. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave to you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, so like the book of Numbers, that you may be successful in whatever you do. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. That's number 3. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Okay, so he needs to have some perseverance. You need to keep at it. Have that growth mindset rather than a set mindset. Okay. And then it says, meditate on it. Let it linger. Don't forget it. Don't read it and then let it go. Okay. Have a relationship with God and with his word. So Joshua ordered the officers of his people, go through the camp and tell the people, get your provisions ready. 3 days from now, you will cross the Jordan here to go in and take possession of the land your God is given for your own. But to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joshua said, remember the command that Moses, the servant of the Lord, so there we go, servant of the Lord, gave to you after he said, the Lord your God will give you the rest by giving you this land. Your wives, your children, and your livestock may stay in the land that Moses gave to you the east of the Jordan, but all your fighting men ready for battle must cross over ahead of your fellow Israelites. You are to help them until the Lord gives them rest, as he's done for you and until they have taken possession of the land the Lord God has given them. After that, you may go back and occupy your own land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you east of the Jordan toward the sunrise. Then they answered Joshua, whatever you have commanded us, we will do, and wherever you send us, we will go. Just as we have fully obeyed Moses, so we will obey you. Only may the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. Whoever rebels against your word and does not obey it, whatever you command him, will be put to death. Only be strong and courageous. So that was how many times? 4 times. Okay, so he got to deal, so you got to think about Joshua had to deal not only with the conquering of the Canaanites, but he also had his complaining people that he had to deal with, okay? So now we're going to meet Rahab and the spies. Then Joshua, the son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. Go look over the land, he said, especially Jericho. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, look, some of the Israelites have come tonight to spy out the land. So the king of the Jericho sent this message to Rahab, bring the men who came to you and entered your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land. Okay? So we notice that in the New Testament there is twice they mention Rahab. Well, there's more than that, because she was also mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus, but 2 times and specifically that she is mentioned, that they commend her for what she did, and they gloss over the fact that she was a prostitute and talk about her vision for the future, okay, and that her faith. So I'm going to read one of them, and it's in Hebrews. It's Hebrews 11, 31. And it says, but by faith the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. And the other one is in James. Okay. And James 2:25. In the same way was not even Rahab the prostitute considered righteous for what she did when she gave lodging to the spies and sent them off in a different direction. So those are 2 cases where they go and they commend her for what she does. Sorry, my Bible. Okay, that's what you get for putting a sticky note in there. Okay, so she decided to join the opposition. So she was a Canaanite, decided to join the opposition, and she concluded that Israel's God was the real God. Okay. So we'll go back to Joshua 2:4. But the woman had taken 2 men and hidden them. She said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they come from. At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly. You may catch up with them." But she had taken them up on the roof and hidden them under stalks of flax that she had laid on the roof. So the 2 men came in pursuit of the spies on the road that leads to the fords of the Jordan, and as soon as the pursuers had gone, the gate was shut. Before the spies lay down for the night, she went up on the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you the land, and that a great fear has fallen on us, so that all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the waters of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, whom you completely destroyed. But when we heard it, our hearts melted in fear, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord your God is in heaven above and on earth below. Now then, please spare to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I've shown kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and that you will save us from death. Our lives for our lives." The man assured him, "If you don't tell us what we are doing, we will treat you. If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives you the land." Okay. Go on to the next page. So she let him down by rope through the window, for the house that she lived in was part of the city wall. She said to them, "Go to the hills so the pursuers will not find you. Hide yourself there for 3 days." Okay, importance, 3. 3 is very important in the Bible. Until they return, and then go on your way. Now the men had said to her, "The oath you made us swear will not be binding on us unless we enter the land you have tied the scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down, and unless you have brought your father and mother, your brothers, and all your family into your house. If any of them go outside your house into the street, their blood will be on their own heads. We will not be responsible. As for those who are in the house with you, the blood will be on their head if a hand is laid on them. But if you tell us what we are doing, we will be released from the oath. But if you tell what we are doing, you will be released from the oath you made us swear." "Agreed," she replied. "Let it be as you say." So she sent them away, and they departed. And then she tied the scarlet cord in the window. When they left, they went to the hills and stayed there for 3 days, until the pursuers had searched all along the road and returned without finding them. Then the 2 men started back. They went down out of the hills, forded the river, and came to Joshua, son of Nun, and told him everything that had happened. They said to Joshua, "The Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands. All the people are melting in fear because of us." Okay. Excuse me. So it says, go to the hills. Okay. So the pursuers who were looking for them went towards the Jordan River. The hills made them go further into Canaan, and then they had to come back out 3 days later. Okay, so Rahab's house was actually part of the wall that was, that fell. So we're like, well, how is it that they were spared if the wall fell down? Well, archaeologists, they found that part of the lower wall was still standing. So the higher wall, or the top wall, that fell.